In the heart of autumn, where leaves painted the ground in shades of amber and crimson, lay the quaint town of Willow Creek. To the casual observer, it was a serene haven where time moved at a languid pace, and the air was always filled with the scent of pine and wood smoke. But beneath its picturesque surface, Willow Creek harbored a chilling secret that waited for the night to reveal itself. Emily and Ben, newcomers seeking tranquility, were about to discover the sinister truth that turned their peaceful sanctuary into a terrifying nightmare. Willow Creek was a charming town, especially in autumn. It was a place where time seemed to slow down. The people there were friendly but had an intense love for Halloween. To newcomers like Emily and Ben, this was a quirky and harmless celebration. But as night fell, their views changed drastically. The sun dipped below the horizon. The once cozy and welcoming town began to morph. The decorations that had seemed festive in the daylight took on a sinister air. Shadows lengthened and twisted into grotesque shapes, and the cheerful pumpkins carved with grinning faces now appeared to leer menacingly. The transformation started subtly. Emily and Ben were sitting on their porch, enjoying the crisp evening air, when they noticed their neighbor, Mr. Jenkins, acting strangely. Mr. Jenkins, who was always smiling and waving, now moved with a jerky, unnatural gait. His skin seemed to stretch and distort, his eyes gleaming with an eerie light. As he approached, his friendly grin twisted into a malevolent snarl, revealing sharp, fang-like teeth. The friendly neighbor had become a terrifying monster. In shock, Emily and Ben stumbled back into their house, slamming the door shut. The safety of their home felt like a fragile illusion. The walls creaked and groaned, as if alive, whispering indistinct words of doom. The windows rattled, and the lights flickered, casting flickering shadows that danced and writhed. The sweet old lady down the street, Mrs. Thompson, had always been a comforting presence. She would bake cookies for the neighborhood children and tell them stories. But tonight she was different. Emily saw her through the window, her once kindly face twisted into a grotesque mask. She hunched over, cackling with a chilling high-pitched laugh that echoed through the night. Her eyes glowed with a malevolent fire, and her fingers, now gnarled and claw-like, clutched a broomstick. The sweet old lady had become a creepy, cackling witch. Panic set in as Emily and Ben realized that the transformations were happening all around them. The town was no longer the idyllic place they had come to love. It was as if they had stepped into a nightmare where the line between reality and horror had dissolved. Every familiar face was now a monstrous version of itself, and every comforting sight had become a source of terror. Desperation clawed at their minds. They tried to make sense of the madness, but it was impossible. Fear, cold and pervasive, gripped them as they realized they were trapped in a living horror story. Their sanctuary, once a symbol of comfort, became a prison. The creaking walls seemed to whisper tales of impending doom, and the shadows contorted into menacing shapes. The world outside was a cacophony of inhuman sounds, a haunting symphony of fear. As dawn approached, desperation gnawed at their resolve. They were not merely survivors. They were the last vestiges of humanity in a town overrun by monstrous shadows. That a glimmer of hope ignited within them. They would not be passive victims. Armed with courage forged in the crucible of fear, they ventured into the heart of darkness. The town was eerily silent, a stark contrast to the pandemonium of the night. At its center stood the ancient oak, a malevolent sentinel. It was here, they sensed, that the evil resided with trembling hands. Emily unearthed a dark, pulsating artifact. It was a conduit for a curse as old as time, a malevolent force that transformed the townsfolk into their deepest fears annually. With a surge of defiance, they destroyed the artifact. In that moment, the town was cleansed, the spell broken. The monstrous forms retreated, revealing the familiar faces of their neighbors. But the ordeal had left an indelible mark. Emily and Ben were forever changed. Willow Creek, once a place of idyllic charm, was now a haunted landscape, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface. They were survivors, yes, but also witnesses to a horror beyond comprehension. Their lives would forever be intertwined with the town's chilling secret, a secret that would be whispered in hushed tones for generations to come. The story doesn't end with the dawn. The psychological aftermath, the lingering fear, the changed dynamics of the town. These are fertile grounds for further exploration. Perhaps the couple becomes local legends, their bravery a beacon of hope for future generations. Or maybe the darkness isn't fully vanquished, and there's a hint of a return, a promise of a sequel. Would you like to explore any of these possibilities? Emily and Ben had survived the terror of Willow Creek, but their lives were forever changed by the town's dark secret. As they moved forward, the haunting memories lingered, a constant reminder of the horrors they faced. Do you have your own spooky experiences? Share them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to our channel for more chilling tales.